Hi everybody, welcome to today's episode of Learn This Deck with the beautiful and awesome Dreaming Way Tarot. And the card we're going to look at today is the Three of Wands. Wow, such a beautiful card. So how do we get into the meaning of the card? Let's get into the card story and find out. First off, the environment. What's going on in the background of this picture? We see a meadow, we see lush green grass, we see a bit of a forest there maybe, but most of all, we also see this really cute rainbow. And what's going on in the foreground with the person? We have a young girl standing there she's holding one wand, and there are two more wands sort of stuck in the ground right next to her, and it looks like she's looking somewhere in the distance. She's waiting for something. She's standing still. They haven't shown that she's walking or something, so she's standing still, and she's standing there and waiting and looking at the path for something to happen. Okay, it looks that way. So what's the symbolism? The biggest one we have would be the rainbow. So I googled it, of course, and I got a ton of stuff, about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Fact that it could be a symbol that dreams are coming true, that your troubles will end. But ultimately, to me, it spoke like it's a sign from the universe, because rainbows don't just randomly pop up. There are certain things have to happen, like like there's got to be rain and sun, and then that's what we learned when we were in school, right? The rays of light from the sun pass through the rain, and so then they split up into seven parts, and we see the spectrum, that's the rainbow. So a certain set of geographical events have to happen for a rainbow to just show up in the sky. It doesn't just randomly pop up. So it could be taken as, or inferred as, or interpreted as a sign from the universe, and because it's so beautiful, it is a sign of good stuff, of good luck, of something wonderful that is waiting for you at the end of that particular cycle, perhaps. That is one way the rainbow is always sort of interpreted. So, what does the LWB have to say? Now, as we've seen before, the LWB, especially in the case of the pip cards or the minor arcana cards, contains only the meanings upright and reverse. There's just a list of keywords and key phrases. So the words that sort of stood out for me are upright, expanding horizons, and visionary. And reverse, it the word the this bit sort of stood out for me: wasting efforts on meaningless tasks, right? So what were my keywords? Upright. This card indicates like she's standing there, she's basically waiting for something or someone, for something to happen. Something's gonna happen. She has that anticipation of it. She's waiting, right? That's the third part, the expectant or expecting good news. So she's standing there, she's expectant. I should have used anticipation, right? That just the right word didn't pop up in my head at that point. It's like she's expecting something. She's waiting there, she's expecting something, right? And yes, of course, it's a sign from the universe that good luck is on its way. So, what happens when this card is reversed? Wow. Now see what happens. It doesn't look like a pretty picture, doesn't it? And I'm not talking from an aesthetic point of view. I'm saying, like, symbols wise, the ones are going to fall off. The energy is going to feel a little weird, a little askew, right? So, reverse, it shows impatience. It shows someone who can't wait for the whatever the outcome is. So, it's like if certain things she's waiting, she's just impatient, right? Or she's unable to really see the signs from the universe. So, whatever the outcome may be, good or bad, the universe is somehow sending you signs. But if this card is showing up reverse, it is highly possible that you are just not being able to see what signs the universe is sending your way. And then, of course, wasting time, that's sort of what I kind of agreed with from the LWB. You're wasting your time on doing tasks which ultimately will not serve your purpose. And then we have things aren't going so well or so smoothly. So things are moving forward perhaps, but they aren't moving as smoothly or so well as much as you had hoped or thought or wanted it to be. So that's what's going on. The Three of Wands in the reverse. So what was the card story that got into me? Like when I got into her head and I was imagining myself standing there, this is what came. Here I am. I've set things into motion. I've started implementing my plans. But now all I can do is stand and wait to see if things are working out the way I'd hoped. The only thing that gives me hope here is the rainbow. It is a sign from the universe that everything is as it should be. So there is a very understated sort of feeling of impatience. Like I've set things in, I've started things, I've set things into motion, I've implemented my plan, but now I have to just stand and wait for stuff to happen before I can, move forward and do the other things. And yes, this card can it could also often show a very sort of suppressed impatience. So just go with what you feel when you get this one in a reading. this, this card is a big there is a very sort of deeply tiny, maybe it's a tiny little bit of impatience that's been suppressed even in the upright position, or maybe there's just very deeply sort of suppressed, because it is hard for someone if you implement a plan and you want to see results right away, right? People do not have the patience to wait, and so that's where sort of that energy sort of comes from, and especially when we're talking wands energy, which is like all fire, so it's all raring to go, right? These fire then can't wait. That's how it is. So what was your journal entry like? What was your card story like? What were your keywords? Feel free to maybe take a picture of your journal or just take a picture of the card. Use the hashtag learn this deck, and you also use the hashtag 3 of Wands and Dreaming with Tarot. If you like me, you could also use Tarotically Speaking. But put the hashtags on those pictures and post them on Instagram, post them on Facebook, on Twitter, because then we can search for each other with using those hashtags. We can find each other and we can share each other's knowledge and wisdom and experiences and thoughts and whatever. And this way we can online like this get together and learn this deck. Okay? So I will see you again tomorrow with the 4 of Wands. In the meantime, stay good, be good, and learn this deck. Bye now.